Welcome to New York City.
So we are spending the next 3 days exploring everything there is to love about New York City. We are trying to do as many things as we possibly can in these 3 days. So let's stop wasting time and get to the first spot on our list.
We are starting off our day from the Penn Station, which is one of the primary stations if you are commuting anywhere from outside of Manhattan, and a few minutes walk from there is a first spot.
One more thing, we do have a map of our entire trip, plus a few other spots, attractions and restaurants linked in the description box, so feel free to grab that and use it for your next trip to NYC.
Hudson Yards, an impressive retail space with so much to offer, from interesting buildings for sightseeing and a great shopping complex in case you want to spend some dollars. It also connects to one of the more impressive observation decks in the city, the Edge. Vessel, a beautiful landmark made up of a cluster of stairs which is really cool both from outside and inside. But unfortunately it was closed at the time we visited, as they were adding nets to discourage people from jumping from the building, which has caused some issues in the past. Edge, a very unique observation deck due to an outdoor viewing platform at the 100th floor, which is connected via the Hudson Yards shopping complex. If it's your first time visiting an observation deck in NYC, you will be spoiled for options. But there is one observation deck which stands out, and we'll be covering it further in the video.
The High Line, a 1.45 mile long green path built on top of an old train track, and a good way to bypass city traffic while enjoying some interesting city views, including quirky buildings, interesting sculptures, and you can even see the edge pretty clearly while walking here. You can use the High Line the entire way to go from Hudson Yards to the next spot on our list, the Chelsea Market. One of the most prominent markets in the history of New York and the birthplace of Oreo, it's a great spot to try a good variety of food and indulge in some shopping while exploring the streets of New York. Starbucks Reserve. Right next to the Chelsea Market, you'll find a Starbucks Reserve. It might seem odd that we are recommending a Starbucks as one of the spots to visit, but this one is a little different. There are only a few Starbucks Reserve in the world. 2 of them are in New York, one next to the Chelsea Market and another one in Empire State Building. But we are recommending the Chelsea Market one as it feels like a more happening place. It's a lot bigger than your usual Starbucks and offers a lot more in terms of experience, including variety of food, drinks, including cocktails, information sessions on coffee roasting, coffee tasting, and much more.
Today we're trying our whiskey barrel aged coffee. Ready to say wow? Nice, right? Thank you.
Shall I also get one?
For you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait. We gotta take a toast. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, no? There are a lot of other eateries which we recommend trying out while you are in NYC. Definitely a lot of pizza, and all of that and much more will be covered in detail in our second video about must-try food spots on your first visit to NYC. So do watch out for that one. But for now, we are recommending visiting the Starbucks for the ambiance and the experience.
West Village. We really liked this area. It felt like an escape from the hustle bustle of the city to more of a small town kind of a vibe, which we really liked. We spent a lot of time going through numerous pretty streets which offered a lot of great cafes, cute shops, and amazing food. Soho and NoHo. Another great area to roam about and explore. Soho and NoHo offers a lot of good food and good vibes, plus a lot of stores, both high-end and mid-range for shopping, including boutique stores, especially in Soho. East Village. This area for us had more of the hippie and party kind of vibe, but that definitely means that finding good food won't be that difficult, especially in the neighborhood which houses the famous Cat's Deli. Friends Apartment Building. In case you are a Friends fan like us, one stop that should definitely be on your list is the Friends Apartment Building in the West Village. On the way there, you will definitely find a lot of great photo spots, so plan ahead as you might get lost in the pretty streets of the West Village.
Washington Square Park. If there is any other park as iconic and well represented in the movies as Central Park, then that has to be Washington Square Park. You will easily find a lot of entertaining stuff happening here, whether that is people playing chess, musicians, monks lost in their own rhythm, dancers, and a lot more. Fifth Avenue, one of the most expensive shopping streets in the world, starting from Washington Square Park all the way till Harlem. Though we only had time to explore till Central Park. It's one of the most awe-inspiring streets in New York with expensive stores, whether it's American or European luxury brands. Also a lot of stores with eye-catching design. There are also some big tech stores like Microsoft and Apple, other amazing buildings including the famous Trump Tower, and so many monuments to see and places to explore that it genuinely looks and feels like the most iconic streets in NYC. Flatiron Building and Public Plaza. Flatiron is one of the NYC's oldest surviving skyscraper. Unfortunately, it was completely covered for maintenance when we were there, but there is a very nice plaza and park right in front of it where you can just sit, relax and enjoy the city go by.
Empire State Building. Once the world's tallest building and the most iconic in the NYC skyline. It has its own observation deck, but we would recommend to skip this one as NYC skyline just feels incomplete without it, especially during the night. Also, there are a lot of rickshaws, also called pedicabs, available right outside the building in case you are interested. Just be wary of their prices. New York Public Library and Bryant Park. It's a great place to visit, especially considering it's completely free and architecturally beautiful inside as well as outside, and has Bryant Park just behind it. Make sure to check the park's event calendar as there is always something interesting going on throughout the year.
Summit 1, Vanderbilt. This is the observatory we chose due to its unique experiences and one-of-a-kind observation deck. Even the elevator was quite exciting. As for the deck, the entire floor and ceiling is covered with glass, so you get a very unique experience, and from here you can enjoy views of the entire skyline including the iconic Empire State Building, Chrysler Building, Hudson Yards Cluster and One World Trade Center. Even the washrooms have skyline view here, of course with gates so that you can do your business with privacy. There are a few more experiences to enjoy here. After the observation deck, the next room has architecture pieces which feel like there is mercury on the floor, and third one is an Instagram friendly room with reflective balloons which feels very interactive and playful. There is an option to step out on a glass balcony as well, but that is usually pretty busy and has a long waiting line. Then finally, you can go up to the wraparound terrace to either enjoy some foods, drinks or experience more incredible views of the New York City. Grand Central Station. Right across Summit 1 is the Grand Central Station, which feels like an art piece in itself. So you might want to take a few minutes to admire it, especially the ceiling as it looks absolutely amazing in person. It is the largest train station in the world by area and number of platforms, so definitely something to look out for.
Statue of Liberty. Depending on how much time you want to slice out for Statue of Liberty, you can take the free Staten Island ferry if you are just interested in seeing the statue from a bit of a distance and enjoy skyline views alongside it. This is what we did. Or you can always book a ticket for the Liberty Island and catch a ferry from Battery Park, which is a nice park on the southernmost tip of Manhattan, right next to the Staten Island ferry station. Financial District. In Lower Manhattan, go down the street of Broadway, another iconic NYC street, where you will be able to spot the Charging Bull, which is usually pretty busy both from front and back, the New York Stock Exchange, Trinity Church, which adds a lot of charm to busy streets of Financial District, and finally you will reach Fulton Street, from where you can take a left turn and you will be able to see another impressive NYC building, the Oculus. This genuinely feels like a spaceship has just landed in NYC, and there is no building that comes close in terms of its striking appearance. It feels as amazing from inside as it is from outside. Definitely a must visit if you like vivid architectures.
Twin Tower Memorial Site. The World Trade Center has a lot of unique buildings in the area, and it's a nice place to spend some time and visit the Twin Tower Memorial, which honors all the people who lost their lives in the 9/11 tragedy. One World Trade Center. Part of the World Trade Center cluster of buildings is also the One WTC building, which houses the One World Observatory, which is one of the highest observation deck in NYC, Hoboken, New Jersey. If you want a break from NYC but still want to enjoy the views of the city, then there are a lot of great viewing spots to watch the NYC skyline from Hoboken. Plus, go a little deeper and you would find a lovely area with good food and good vibes all across. St. Patrick's Cathedral. One of the most beautiful cathedrals we have seen so far in our lives is the St. Patrick Cathedral, which is just amazing to look at. Its striking structure in all its white glory hits differently. It's very accessible as it is right on 5th Avenue, and just a few steps from it, you'll also be able to see the St. Thomas Church. Both of these collectively add a historic charm to one of the most popular and modern streets of NYC. This is the reason why we definitely recommend walking the 5th Avenue, as there is just so much to see there.
Rockefeller Center. Right next to the St. Patrick Cathedral is the Rockefeller Center, one of the most iconic plazas of New York, featured in numerous movies and TV shows that host a lot of festivals all around the year, including the famous Christmas tree lighting ceremony and ice rink. This plaza is always lively and a great spot to take some photos during your visit. There is another observation deck called Top of the Rock as part of these buildings, and a new attraction called The Beam, which has been recently started. Radio City Music Hall. New York City is popular for its Broadway shows, and Radio City Music Hall is the largest indoor theater in the world. If you're interested in plays and Broadway shows, then NYC definitely has a lot to offer. Even if you're not interested in Broadway, it is still a good place to get a few quick photos and try some popular New York street food, as there are a lot of food carts available in this area. Central Park. One of the most iconic parks in the world, Central Park has something to offer for everyone. After walking more than 50k steps in the last few days, we did not have enough energy to explore the entire park, but we did visit it at the end of our walk on the 5th Avenue, just to sit there and enjoy our food. From there, you can either take the 7th Avenue or Broadway, and it will take you right to the heart of the iconic Times Square. There is truly nothing like Times Square in the world. The experience of walking through the dazzling display of billboards and lights feels different from anything else you'll ever see. Whether you like it or not will vary from person to person, but it's definitely worth visiting once in your life. Just beware of all the scammers in that area, as it is a prominent hotspot for them.
Dumbo. After resting a little bit, we were finally off to one of the last but definitely not the least places on our list, that is Brooklyn. The first place that we visited was Dumbo, which is one of the most visited places in Brooklyn, and rightfully so. We didn't expect much from seeing the Manhattan Bridge pillar, but there is something fascinating about that place and how Empire State Building perfectly aligns in the center of the pillar. Brooklyn Bridge. A few steps from Dumbo, there's a park right next to Brooklyn Bridge near Jane's Carousel and Pebble Beach with great views of New York City skyline, Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan Bridge. We recommend going via the time out market rather than the street, as it is a pretty looking market and definitely adds to the charm of the area. The view, especially at night, is so fascinating that you can easily spend a lot of hours just looking at the lights and watching the world go by.
This is all from our visit to New York. Hope you liked the video and the recommendations. Watch out for the next one, as there are a lot of food options to explore in the city of New York.